Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Recast here on the Movie Hero Network. I am Austin Howell, your host for Recast, and I've got a lovely panel tonight to help me do a fantasy recasting of Beetlejuice. Yes, we wanted to go with some kind of family film and something that's relevant, obviously, to right now. Beetlejuice ended up being a pretty big hit, so it is in the conversation right now. People are talking about it, and you know what? Let's go back in the time machine and see if we had to either recast Beetlejuice back then, recast Beetlejuice now. We'll see what everybody's got in mind for the upcoming Beetlejuice recast. But I got my panel with me tonight. Got the movie hero himself, Jordan Anderson. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Yeah, I know that the menu went back and forth. I tried to push for maybe some other family movies. I think Beetlejuice was like the best compromise because sometimes you get a little convoluted with like too many kids and all that stuff. So it came to the best agreement, and I think it's going to be fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. This one's got a good ensemble of cast kooky characters, so I think it could be a lot of fun. Got Brian Nussbaum, who's in his top 64. How's it going, Brian?
It's doing good. Beetlejuice is one of my favorite horror comedies, one I always go back to, and it's going to be see who we recast tonight. It's going to be very interesting.
Oh yeah, no, I've got everybody's picks, but only a few people here and there have seen certain things. Jordan knows my picks, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And then Richie knows a couple because he tried to pick a few things and got shut down because they had already picked. So he knows a few as well. But speaking of him, got Richie Goodacre. He's getting it set up his new place, but he's still with us tonight. Appreciate you, buddy. How's it going, Richie?
Yeah, going all right. Just chilling outside here. Like literally, I've moved, but I've moved down the road, so it feels like like that scene in Non Teen movie where they're going to a house party and it's just like a couple of blocks, like road trip. It's like 2 blocks. So yeah, it felt like it feels like that. So this will be fun. I hope I got some good picks in the last second.
Yeah, he definitely didn't send them in to me like yesterday. He definitely sent it to me like a week ago.
Right.
So yeah, well, go ahead.
Well, Richie, your camera setup looks a lot better. You look like you're out of the light fog or whatever you were in before. It looks crystal clear,
angle.
so it's nice. Yeah.
Don't worry, he'll be back in like a weirdly lit room in no time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But no, we're happy everybody's here tonight. This is going to be a lot of fun. And how Recast works is everybody behind the scenes pick their recast picks for the number of characters. We'll be recasting 8 characters from the actual movie here. Starting to go from the bottom up, we'll kind of work our way up the cast list to sort of least important to the plot to most important to the plot. The roles we'll be casting tonight are the roles of Juno, Otho, Charles, Delia, Lydia, Barbara, Adam, and of course the title character of Beetlejuice. So we're working our way up. Don't worry if you don't remember who's who. I've got some nice handy pictures for you. Got some clips, quick clips we can play. So don't worry, we will remind you of everything as we go along. And how it's going to work is essentially we'll go around the horn. Everybody will get a chance to essentially pitch their pick. So they'll say what they picked and why, and the rest of the panel will then rank those other picks. You don't vote for yourself because that cancels each other out. So we just don't do that. So essentially, you are doing sort of a minute pitch for everybody else on the panel, and then everybody will vote from 3 to 1. They're basically their third favorite pick, second favorite pick, and their first favorite pick of the other ones. And the first favorite pick will get 3 points, a second favorite pick will get 2 points, and a third favorite will get 1 point. So there will be point values for all around. And basically, the pick that gets the most points out of the panel is who takes it. So, and who becomes our official sort of recast pick. So should be a lot of fun. You guys have all done this before, so there shouldn't be a lot of questions. It's pretty straightforward. So if you guys want, we can get to it. Everybody ready?
Oh yeah.
It's
so not
showtime.
character Bob, just to make sure,
Yes.
because I had that as the potential 9th character. No Bob.
No, Bob.
Okay.
But no, we are. Yeah, no, Bob. We are going to first start kind of at the bottom of the list to a character that doesn't pop up a lot, but is kind of has a few essential scenes. The role of Juno, originally played by Sylvia Sidney, who I mostly know from Mars Attacks. If you remember her from as the kind of crazy old cookie lady from Mars Attacks. She's a Tim Burton favorite. The sort of caretaker, lady who introduces Adam and Barbara sort of to the rules of the underworld and whatnot. So we'll be recasting her first. And I've got a quick little clip just to remind you guys a little bit about Juno. So here we go.
You should have been studying those lessons since day 1. Oh, I've got to go.
What about that guy in the flyer, Beetle?
Don't even say his name. You don't want his help.
Well,
We might.
No, you don't. He does not work well with others.
What do you mean?
I didn't want to bring it up, but rather than have you stumble onto it and make another mistake, I'll tell you. He was my assistant, but he was a troublemaker. He went out on his own as a freelance bioexorcist. Claimed he could get rid of the living. Got into more trouble. In fact, I believe he's been sleazing around your cemetery lately.
You've been sleazing around your cemetery lately. But yeah, so that is the role of Juno. Of course, like I said, played by Sylvia Sidney. And we're going to recast the role here to kick things off. So we'll just start to the right of me. I will go last, but we will start with you, Jordan. Who did you pick to recast as Juno?
So when I looked at the character Juno, I just thought of the first actress that came to mind that kind of looked like her, and I kind of thought kind of embodied the essence. And I went with Annie Potts. What I went with, and I'm kind of thinking of like even like a slightly older Annie Potts, even like how she is now, and like in like Ghostbusters Afterlife, and like some of those like it. And yeah, I just think that she has the charisma. I think she could fit right into this world of like just being in the like, what do they call it, like the underworld, or I can't remember what
the afterlife
they call it here. Yeah, and yeah, I can just see her just like playing this role and being the guide and like telling them to like watch out, because she did this stuff with the Ghostbusters that's kind of like adjacent, I feel like. So yeah, my pick is Annie Potts.
Okay, so Jordan goes with Annie Potts, Brian Mother from Ghostbusters. Brian, who you got for this role?
Yeah, I remember the older person who could fit the role. I went with Betty White as Juno. She sort of looks like Juno almost. She has some good. She provides some comedy aspects, and to me, fits the role of Juno for me. So I went with Betty White.
Okay, so Brian takes Betty White for this one. Richie, let's go to you. Who you got for Juno?
Yeah, so for Juno, I've got Glenn Close. I think she sort of so you sort of also, it's got that sort of look, but as well as like she can like, I think she can sort of get across that, the gruff, the badass I've seen some shit kind of vibe, like that Juno pulls off. So I could see her inhabiting the role. So yeah, I think Glenn Close would be a good choice. So yeah, Glenn Close.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, for my pick on this one, I just went with somebody I think could deliver the great exposition that she needs to do. Somebody who has a past with comedy, and when she dives into it, she's very, very funny. I went with Kathy Bates. Like, I think Kathy Bates could really kill this role. Like, just show up and steal a couple of scenes, and then duck back out and just kind of pop up in and out of the movie. She's done this plenty of times in her career. She doesn't have to be a leading person. You look at something like, Richard Jewell or The Waterboy, where she's not like, front and center in the entire movie. She just pops in and out. But again, she's got the comedic timing when she needs to have it. She's got that administrative look to her. I mean, she's literally on Matlock right now, like playing a lawyer, and playing like an office person. So she could definitely do that as well. So yeah, I'll just go with Kathy Bates on this one. I think she could have a lot of fun with this. So, all right.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm just gonna shout out Acres of Movies. Thanks for tuning in. He said he would have picked June Squibb. So I mean, that's not a bad choice. Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right. But let's run down the picks one more time before we actually vote. So Jordan picks Annie Potts, kind of more modern day Annie Potts. Brian goes with Betty White. Richie went with Glenn Close, and I went with Kathy Bates. So if everybody's ready to kind of vote for what you got, Jordan, we'll go in the same order. We'll start with you. 3-1.
This is really tough. I think all of these are great picks. I'm just like really kind of struggling to kind of rank these, but I think, I mean, I don't really have a lot of reasons. Just maybe just one, maybe I like slightly more than the others. Not really any bad picks here, but for number 3, I have Betty White. I mean, I just kind of see the other two a little more, but My number 2, I have Kathy Bates, and actually I have Glenn Close for my number 1 because you think of things like that 101 Dalmatians from the 90s and stuff, playing like a real eccentric character like that, and like when I first kind of thought about it, I was like, I don't know about Glenn Close, but then I was really kind of thinking on my head about some of the roles she's played, and yeah, I actually think she can do it. So I'll Glenn Close my number 1.
Okay, Brian, what you got for your rankings?
My number 3 has Annie Potts. I always see her as Judo. Number 2 is I was close between 1 and 2. Number 2, I have Glenn Close, and the number 1, Kathy Bates.
Okay, Richie.
Yeah, it's tough. But in number 3, I have Annie Potts. I just can't see her in the role, to be honest. Number 2, I'm gonna go Betty White. I think it's a decent pick, but I just think Kathy Bates for me number 1 is I think that I could see that. I think she could play that sort of, like that hard ass sort of, like Juno character, and like you've seen it in other TV roles she's done, like in The Office and stuff like that. So I went with Kathy Bates.
Okay. Yeah, for mine, my bottom, I'm just gonna go Annie Potts. It's a little too similar to Ghostbusters. I think people like stuff that's just too similar to almost exactly the same as other roles. That's gonna knock it down. I'm looking for a little more creativity. I'll go Glenn Close for number 2. I just haven't seen a lot of her. Like, I know she can deliver the administrative stuff, but the comedic stuff, like, I don't know. Like, I haven't seen her doing a lot of comedy per se, but maybe she could surprise me. I'll go Betty White. I think Betty White would be funny. She could really make the role stand out, and she's great in little roles where she literally just pops in and out of like 2 scenes. I mean, you look at stuff like Placid, where she can be serious and fun, and then just throw out some random stuff, and she can be a lot of fun. So I'll go with that. So all right,
hey, I've got one person on my side. We got Hicks of the movie saying Annie Potts.
Sure.
So there you go.
No, fair enough. So Annie Potts is going to get 3 points. Betty White 6 points. We've got Glenn Close at 7 points, and we've got Kathy Bates at 8 points. So it's going to be Kathy Bates taking it with 8 points. So there you go. But yeah, good picks there all around. So we'll move right up the cast list, and our next pick will be for and again, a very standout eccentric character. We're going to go with Otho, played of course by Glenn Shaddix. And I knew Glenn Shaddix, didn't have to look him up because I've used him in my movie Jeopardy. Jordan, I have a category sometimes when I do movie Jeopardy called "That Guy in That Movie," and it's all about character actors. So I know my character actors because there Glenn Shaddix is a great one. So let's do just a really quick clip of Otho.
We just have to pray the other closets are bigger than this one. Ooh, look. Ozzy and Harriet.
Oh.
What happened to these people?
They died.
All right.
Oh.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna move it on up to Otho. Glenn Shaddix, a very memorable character, helping out with the interior decorating and whatnot. Yeah, helping out there. So let's see what everybody's got for this one. Let's see if everybody went mainstream or went with some character actors. We'll see where it goes. But Brian, we start with you this time. What you got?
For me, I went with Eric Stone Street. He's from our family. Played the fat boy character in More Family, but when I think of Otho, I think More Fat Boy and toward the character, so I decided with Eric Stoltz. You can find the comedy aspects in More Family. He's sort of like a character actor now, so I went with Eric Stone Street.
Okay, so Brian goes with Eric Stone Street, mainly from Modern Family. Once again, there you go. All right, Richie, what you got for her?
Stupid cat going past. So I also went with a guy sort of known for comedy, but I think he's versatile. Can do can do that sort of very was it like the kind of that eccentric sort of pull off that eccentric humor. I went with a actor and part-time wrestler Paul Walter Hauser. I think he would actually. I think he'd do a good job. He's sort of. I think he's played similar like characters in the past. Like he's sort of been. He was like he was good at sort of being that sort of eccentric goofball and like Cruella. He was, and I just think he's like this. I think he stands out in any role, and I think he'd eat this up. So I'm going Paul Walter Howell.
Okay, so Richie goes with Paul Walter Hauser, who's been breaking it out lately. Yes, both in the wrestling world and in the acting world. But yes, and that's legit. People go look it up. All right, so as far as mine's a guy who I've always liked, and I think the panel is a fan of as well. A guy I just want to see get more opportunities because I think he's very funny and he's a really good actor when he wants to. I want Tyler Labine. I think Tyler Labine would be a lot of fun in this one. He's done sort of supernatural type shows. He's done a little horror, obviously, with Tucker and Dale versus Evil. He's done that Reaper show that Jordan's a big fan of. He's a really versatile actor. He can really stand out even in little small roles. And he's been working for a really long time. I think he could easily play sort of a snobby interior decorator and still really bring the funny and bring the comedy. And again, steal scenes, which is what he does in a lot of his projects. Is just kind of be there and steal the scenes every now and then. So so I went with Tyler Labine. So all right, Jordan, what you got?
So for mine, I went with someone who I think just really embodies the spirit of the character and the personality. I don't think you necessarily have to be like a bigger kind of overweight person necessarily, as long as you can embody the core of who the person is. So I went with Dan Levy for mine. And so I just think that he really has that really eccentric personality. I can see him picking through the closet and critiquing everybody's outfits and like I'm not saying that like being gay like you need to be that, but it certainly doesn't hurt though. Like I think that could be maybe a quality that could enhance the character and I just see just the way that he interacts like, and also be someone that if he played the character, I'd love to see him on screen doing it. So yeah, Dan Levy.
All right, so Jordan goes with Dan Levy. I think we all kind of picked relatively character actors, so I think it all kind of tracks. So I mean that definitely all tracks there.
But I have some honorable mention. I was going to say that I almost went with Robbie Coltrane. I thought that could have been one, like a kind of a big guy. And then also in the Chet Akers of a movie, I almost said Nathan Lane too. I thought about that. So
okay. So Brian went with Eric Stone Street. Richie goes Paul Walter Hauser. I went with Tyler Labine, and Jordan goes with Dan Levy. So all right, well let's go around and see what everybody ranks. Everybody else picks. Brian, we'll start with you.
For number 3, I have Dan Levy. I don't really see him. I haven't seen most of his work. Number 2, I went with Tyler Labine. And number 1, I went with Paul Walter Hauser on this one.
Okay. Richie.
Yeah. Number 3, I got Tyler Labine just because I haven't. I mean, outside of Tucker and Dale, I haven't seen a lot much of his stuff. But I believe he probably could do well. But I see what Jordan's saying with Dan Levy. So I got him at number 2. I think he'd do well. But number 1, I thought I thought Eric Stone Street's inspired casting. I actually think I could definitely. I can visualize that and definitely see him in the role, and I want him to get more opportunities because I think he's great. So I went with Eric Stone Street for number 1.
Okay. For me, I just have literally seen like none of his work, so I have to go with Eric Stone Street as my number 3. I don't watch Modern Family. I have no idea who he is, so I had to look him up and see. I sort of recognize the face, just haven't.
In a lot of commercials. So
not familiar with him. Number 2, I'll go Dan Levy because again, I haven't seen a lot of his work, but the last thing I saw him in was that Happiest Season Kristen Stewart movie. But I thought he was a good scene stiller in that one. And I slapped myself in the face when Richie picked Paul Walter Hauser because that's what I should have picked. God damn it. So I think that's pretty spot on casting. Richie's done that to me a couple of times. He did that with the Bill Burr pick on The Matrix, where I just went, oh, of course, god damn it. So I'll go Paul Walter Hauser. Jordan.
Well, it's kind of interesting to like see like the way people vote because I have Paul Walter Hauser as my number 3. I just don't really see him as doing that exact role. I see him just doing other stuff really well, but maybe not quite that. But my number 2, I have Tyler Labine. I can kind of see it, but I think he might be a little too goofy. Maybe I don't know. Like it's just, but he could pull it off. But I think Eric Stonestreet, that's an inspired cast. That is like spot on to me. And I feel like maybe Brian's been thinking about this for quite a while because I know he's a Beetlejuice fan. So
Yeah, I was thinking about it for a while.
Okay.
yeah, right.
I think plan on the advance.
Well,
Yeah,
it's a little
right.
all over the place. We got Tyler Bean and Dan Levy both with 5 points, and we have a tie for first. So we're going to need the chat to break the tie. Whatever I see first between Eric Stonestreet and Paul Walter Hauser, both with 7 points, both getting 2 threes and a 1. So literally, I'll keep an eye on the chat. The first person to from our chat to put in, we got Leo put in Eric Stonestreet. So Eric Stonestreet.
To be fair, though, we had Acres of a movie before we even had to break a tie breaker. PWH in there, so I don't know if that counts.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know because maybe he put it in when we were voting.
Yeah, he did put it in while we were voting.
Well, we were voting, so we got to go with the tiebreaker after the fact. So we'll go Eric.
Get it later. Get it later. Damn it.
Yeah. Wait and see if there's a tie, and then vote, and then put in your votes after that. So that's how it works. But we appreciate the participation. Thank you guys very much, and stick around, please, because we might have more ties. You never know what can happen.
Yeah.
So we are moving right along up the cast list, and we are going to start with Charles Dietz first. I think we're going to start with Charles Dietz, played by he shall not be named in the picture, and then you know what? I'm not even going to play a clip because I don't even want to entertain. Let's actually recast this pick because it should be recasted, much like it should have been recasted for the sequel.
Like
and not even acknowledge that character, which I thought was weird. That he was way more of a character than I thought he would be in the sequel. That was very strange. Yeah, very very strange. But Charles Dietz, the dad, originally played, I'll say at least by Jeffrey Jones, who we don't really talk about anymore. But yeah, we'll go around the horn. Richie, who are you going to recast for this one?
Yeah, so I have a few picks in mind, but and then this probably because I just want to kick up for his doing all these different roles, and I think he has a kick playing a bad guy. I went Hugh Grant. I think Hugh Grant would have a lot of fun doing this sort of like this role and like being like kind of this I don't know. I think he'd have fun being this wacky eccentric character. Because I think he's trying to tackle these roles that are very outside of the rom-com lead, and I think this will be right up his wheelhouse now in in modern day. So I went with Hugh Grant.
Okay, so Richie go with Hugh Grant. I found one with him in sort of like a dad sweater is what it looked like to me. So that's why I pulled that one. I went with a guy who I think could pull off the quiet characters because I think Charles is kind of a quiet character with a few outbursts here and there, and I think he absolutely has that personality in different movies. But a guy you kind of instantly like when you come in, you feel bad for him when Delia is kind of putting him down and yelling at him. So I went with Bill Pullman. Actually, I think Bill Pullman could be a lot of fun in this one. Be that kind of old school sort of dad. You could see him being kind of really into arts and just wanting his quiet time. He plays a lot of quiet roles. And then he can pick it up. Obviously, stuff like Spaceballs or Independence Day when he needs to be a little louder and whatnot. And you look at stuff like Casper where he plays the dad of a Christina Ricci finding ghosts and stuff and interacting with the supernatural, so he can do the family stuff too, and just be that really, really warm presence in the house that you kind of instantly like. So I went with Bill Pullman actually for this one. So Jordan.
So I went with one because I didn't want to go with like a huge big star, but I wanted to go with someone who's pretty well known still and can just have some like little subtle bits of the humor, but it is kind of quiet for the most part. So I went with Fred Willard for my pick. So I just kind of could see him kind of pairing well, whether it was Catherine O'Hara or whoever we end up choosing. But yeah, he just makes me laugh pretty hard just from little subtle humor though he's not really big and over the top, and I think that he could fit in as like the kind of older father kind of figure. So yeah.
All right. So Jordan goes with Fred Willard. All right, Brian, what you got?
For me, I went with a character on this one. I went with Stephen Root for Charles, actually. Yeah, Stephen Root knows plays some dad characters. He has some good comedic timing if he's like in Office Space. And so quiet role, if you see Get Out, he plays a sort of quiet character that much. So I went with Stephen Root.
Okay, so Brian goes with Stephen Root from Get Out and Dodgeball and
And Office Space. Yep.
Office Space,
Yeah.
whatnot. All right. So we got some interesting ones here. We'll go around the horn one more time. Richie went with Hugh Grant. I went with Bill Pullman. Jordan goes with Fred Willard. And Brian goes with Stephen Root. All right. So Richie, what you got in this one?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go. If I'm a three, I'm gonna go Fred Willard. I just he might be able to tackle it. I don't personally see it. Number two. I honestly, I thought you were gonna pull away with it, but no pun intended. But I'm gonna pull Bill Pullman. I thought it was a really good pick, but then Brian pulled away with it with Stephen Root. I could see that. I love Stephen Root, and I think he'd do quite well in the role. I'm going Stephen Root.
Okay. I'm gonna go Fred Willard for my third one. I just think it's the wrong energy for that part. I think it's a different type of energy, and his quippy it's different than what I think that character kind of is. I understand kind of where you're coming from, but to me, it just feels like a weird energy for that. It's kind of the same thing with Hugh Grant, although I just think he's got a little more range. So I'll go with that number two. But yeah, Brian. Man, if he had picked Stephen Root, I probably would have picked Stephen Root. So I'll go with that because, damn, he's a great character actor. And, yeah, I mean, Jeffrey Jones was a character actor, and a bunch of stuff back then. So, it's a good pick.
Yeah, I think for mine, I've actually got Stephen Root for number three. I don't see it. I just don't I don't know. I mean, I see him playing these quirky characters, but those are like so weird that it's like, I wouldn't say like the dad of like a family or something like that. I don't know, but and then so I almost went with Hugh Grant as my number one. I was really close, but then Austin, you mentioned Casper and like being the dad there, and I'm like, oh yeah, that actually works. That fit. That kind of won me over, but I do appreciate. I just saw Heretic for the first time on Saturday, and Hugh Grant, he's playing a lot of like really creative, like different roles. So I mean, I could see him, but I just see Bill Pullman a little more. So I'll go Bill Pullman.
Okay, Brian.
Yeah, for my number three, I went with Hugh Grant, so I don't really see him as Charles. Number two, I went with Fred Willard on this one, and number one, Bill Pullman. He plays a foreign character like Casper, for example, as also said.
Okay, interesting one here. So we got Fred Willard with 4 points. Hugh Grant with 5. Stephen Root, I thought was going to run away with it, but got 7 points. And at the last minute, Bill Pullman for 8. So Bill Pullman's going to take it. There you go. Okay. I thought Brian was going to run away from Stephen Root, but he didn't win Jordan over. So he just didn't win him over. So that was the kicker right there. All right. So moving right along here, we're doing pretty good. We're going to move on to Delia Dietz, played, of course, by the great Catherine O'Hara, who returned for the sequel, and we were all happy to see her back. I think she really kind of steals the movie in the sequel. She's a lot of fun in that one, and still has all the energy. She's really great. We'll take another look at Delia really quick.
Animals live like animals.
It's locked. How do they get in?
Open this door, you dead people, or we'll bust it down and we'll drag you out by the ropes you hanged yourself with.
They didn't commit suicide.
It doesn't matter. Lydia, I have a chance to teach you something here. You have got to take the upper hand in all situations, or people, whether they're dead or alive, will walk all over you. Open up!
I'm probably dead people. Just constantly kind of yelling at everybody in that movie. So Delia Dietz, of course, played by the great Catherine O'Hara. And we're going to do, Jordan, 2 Catherine O'Hara movies in a row because we'll be recasting her again in Home Alone on our next recast. So we'll see if anybody goes with, you could potentially go with the same pick and try to pitch it again, for Mrs. McAllister. But
all right, the picture you chose for Catherine O'Hara too, the Deo scene.
Oh yeah, the Deo scene. She's a little fun there. All right. So I guess I'll start with me first this time. I went with somebody I think that could definitely play that sort of snooty kind of New York art person that just thinks she's kind of smarter than everybody. Somebody who kind of gets very snarky and yelly with a lot of people in her movies, but also has a tremendous comedic background. There's been a ton of comedies, so she can definitely do the comedic chops. Oh, Judy Greer. I think Judy Greer could really pull this off. She's got that attitude where she could, you can almost kind of hate her initially. She's done a lot of roles like that, but you kind of like her at the same time. She's constantly yelling at Jamie Lee Curtis in the Halloween movies, those newer ones, and can play that kind of above you, smarter than you person. But again, has a huge comedic background. She's been in just one comedy after another, and I think she could really have a lot of fun with this. So yeah, I'll go with Judy Greer. Jordan?
Yeah, so I went with someone that I kind of felt maybe might have complimented my Fred Willard pick a little more, but I mean, I think though that she could do it. This was maybe one of my toughest recasting because Catherine O'Hara is just so perfect in the role to me. But I went with one, especially even a little younger version of. But I went with Joan Cusack for mine. So. Because I can see her just kind of having the same kind of snooty, kind of uppity. You kind of think of her maybe in School of Rock or just just being the kind of just really quirky, really kind of full of energy, all over the place, kind of person, but also being the mother role too. So yeah, I pick Joan Cusack.
Okay, so Joan Cusack is who Jordan picked. Brian, what you got?
Yeah, we're with actress who did a lot of comedy recently, and when show recently, I remember Catherine Hahn as Delia. She could have a lot of fun roles, especially through the data sequence. She could have a lot of fun doing the crazy dance moves. And if you see Agatha, she's having a lot of fun with the role of Agatha, so she can have a lot of fun with Delia. So we're with Catherine Hahn.
Okay, so Brian goes with Catherine Hahn, who's been kind of all over the place recently. Richie, what you got?
Yeah, I sort of went with someone who is probably not that known for comedy necessarily, but I personally think she's versatile and probably could nail any role, and she could definitely nail the sort of New York snooty, up stuff sort of attitude. I went with Jessica Chastain. I think Jessica Chastain is a phenomenal actress and could I think she could sink her teeth in this role. I think she could surprise a lot of people. I think she could do really well, and I think it's sort of I think she would fit the role really well. So yeah, I'm shoot shot for Jessica Chastain.
Okay, so Richie goes with Jessica Chastain. So just to recap the picks, I went with Judy Greer on this one. Jordan goes with Joan Cusack. Brian with Catherine Hahn, and Richie with Jessica Chastain. All right, so I kind of know my bottom one at least. Sorry, Richie. I think Jessica Chastain is way too good of an actress for this. I just think she's like an A-list. I really think you need it's similar to you need a character actress or something. You need somebody who is not quite somebody who's more for those side roles and stuff. I think Jessica Chastain's too big of a star, so I'm gonna go with that. I think it's the wrong kind of energy for that, and I've never seen her do comedy. Really, I was looking through IMDb. I got nothing. So I mean, I don't know if she can pull it off. Maybe. Next, yeah, this is tough because both these actors are very funny and can pull it off. I'll go Joan Cusack because I do think she's funny and Addams Family Values and stuff. I think she's all right, but yeah, Catherine Hahn's pretty spot on. So I'll go with Catherine Hahn, especially stuff like The Office or not with The Office. Parks and Rec, but she's on Parks and Rec. She's very funny and things like that. So yeah, I'll go Catherine.
Yeah,
Jordan.
Yeah, this is just tough because I have to get pretty nitpicky because I think they're all pretty good picks, but maybe certain ones maybe we're missing just a little bit of that little flair that you need. So my number 3, I have Catherine Hahn, just because I see the comedy, but I don't necessarily see the real the super snootiness that you really need. I can see her just I don't know, having her own kind of attitude, but just not quite the right type of attitude for me. So and then for number 2, I have Jessica Chastain because I think she can do pretty much anything. If she wanted to do comedy, she could do it. She's that great of an actress that I think she could pull off just anything. And then for number 1, I have Judy Greer because I can see the snootiness. I can see the humor. I can see just everything because she's had roles where I just hate her character, but it's because she's acting so well in it that it makes me kind of not really like it, and so and kind of be annoyed by it. So yeah, I'll go Judy Greer, my number 1.
Okay, Brian.
Yeah, sorry, Richie. You had Jessica Chastain for number 3. Number 2, I had Joe Cusack, and number 1, Judy Greer on this one.
Okay. All right, Richie.
Yeah, number 3, I have Joan Cusack. I just haven't seen like a lot of the stuff outside of like School of Rock and stuff like that. So that's the only reason. Number 2, I have Judy Greer. I think she'd be a great pick. But number 1, I'm not gonna lie. I thought about her, but then because I got my picks in last week. I knew. I mean, obviously Austin would be like, no, you can't pick that, and I'm already gonna be annoyed at you. Even though I should be annoyed at myself for getting them in late, I'm already going to be annoyed at you, Brian, for a pick that's coming up later on. So, stay tuned for that.
Same here.
Stay tuned for that. Anyway, so yes, Catherine Hahn is an inspired choice. I can definitely see it. So yeah, number 1, Catherine Hahn.
Okay.
After we getting your picks early, you got.
Yeah.
I know.
I barely made the damn group, and Brian sent me his picks like almost immediately. So
I know.
Hey,
Some of us are very busy. Okay.
Hey, you can't say anything, Jordan, because you already sent me your Home Alone picks, so you can't say a goddamn thing. All right.
Well, because I got my picks here so late that I'm like, I got to get these ones in early.
Yeah. So you can't say anything because you're already trying to lobby your Home Alone picks. All right. So tallying up the points: Jessica Chastain 4 points, Joan Cusack at 5, Catherine Hahn at 7, and Judy Greer at 8. So Judy Greer takes this one. So that's who we got for this one. All right, we are going through and moving it on up. So we're moving up kind of in our primary cast members plot-wise. So we're going to Lydia Dietz, of course, played by the great Winona Ryder, the very young and great Winona Ryder. And let's take a quick look at Lydia.
Well, I read through that handbook for the recently deceased. It says, live people ignore the strange and unusual. I myself am strange and unusual.
You look like a regular girl to me.
You read our book.
Yeah.
You could follow it.
Yeah, why were you guys creeping around in Delia's bedroom?
We were trying to scare your mother.
Stepmother. Anyway, you can't scare her. She's sleeping with Prince Valium tonight.
All right. We are looking at Lydia Dietz here, once again played greatly by Winona Ryder in 1988. So, Jordan, we are all the way back around to you. Kick us off.
Yeah. So I almost picked one that somebody else picked. Well, I tried to go with a certain character, but I'm actually glad that I didn't because the character that I would have picked, like, I think that she's too similar, and you don't want to have someone that's like the exact same thing. You want to have someone that's a little different enough, but can still embody the role. So my pick, I went with Kristen Ritter for my pick. So because I think that she does have somewhat of the look, and if you look at things like Jessica Jones, you look at Breaking Bad, you can see the real dark tones and the real kind of gothic looks and the kind of brooding kind of feel to it. And I really think that she's like slightly outside of the box enough, but still has enough of the qualities to fit that role. So yeah, my pick is Kristen Ritter.
Okay, so Jordan goes with Kristen Ritter. Brian.
Yeah, I went with an actress who worked with ghosts in different film. I went with Christina Ricci for my pick. Christina Ricci, sort of similar to Winona Ryder. She's got deadpan comedy aspects, and could be a great role for Lydia. So Christina Ricci is my pick.
Okay, so he goes with Another Wednesday with Christina Ricci.
Yep.
All right, we'll see if it's a little obvious or on the nose. We'll talk about it. Richie?
Yeah, I went with someone who's known for playing sort of like dark gothic characters, even though, and I went sort of a bit younger than sort of you guys. So yeah, and I think she can do I think she can do comedic as well as. So I went with Millie Bobby Brown. I think she's sort of got the look as well. And yeah, like she like I said, she can do the comedy, as you can see in like things like Enola Holmes. And I think I don't know. I think she could. I actually think she would do quite well in this role. So yeah, that's my pick, Millie Bobby Brown.
Okay. All right. So Richie goes with Millie Bobby Brown, obviously mostly known for Stranger Things. And yeah, I went with an actress again, kind of a character actress almost, and somebody who's kind of forever looks young, and she can pull this off. But she's been working since she was a kid, much like Winona Ryder. She started off very very early. She's had a steady career, and she's very recognizable. I went with Joey King. I think Joey King has that sort of goth look to her. She could easily pull off. Yeah, she always kind of has that dark hair and that dark makeup kind of thing going on. She has background in horror movies. She's in The Conjuring. She's in Wish Upon, Slender Man. But you know, she works with who's that one the dude from Scrubs, his movie.
Zach Braff, all face on.
Yeah. She's Wish I Was Here. Yeah, she's in there. Like she's actually a really solid actress, and again, I kind of has that forever sort of youngish quality to her, and I think she's got kind of a Winona Ryder thing going on. So, yeah, she's another person I'd like to see show up in more stuff. So, I went with Joey King. All right, so just to recap again, once more, we got Kristen Ritter, Christina Ricci, we got Millie Bobby Brown, and Joey King for our picks. So, all right, Jordan, we will start with you and with your rankings.
So this one's tough for me. Like, I'm just kind of like going back and forth between all of these, but I think that for my number 3, I have Millie Bobby Brown. I just I don't know if I really see it as this particular character. I mean, she's great for what she does in Stranger Things, which is dark, but I just don't see it in that character. But my number 2, I have Christina Ricci only because I think she's too similar. That's my thing. I just like think that like you want to have someone a little outside the box, but not too far. And I think that she's a little too close to it. Right? Like I feel like maybe she almost got cast in the role. I feel like maybe. I don't know if that's true, but and then for number 1, I have Joey King. I think that she could pull it off. I think that she could have the look if you like did her up and all the makeup and all that stuff, and something about those eyes too. The eyes really get me. So yeah, I'll go Joey King for number 1.
All right, Brian.
Yeah, I also have Millie Bobby Brown for number 3. I don't see her that much, her work wise. Number 2, Joey King for this one. Number 1, have Kristen Ritter.
Okay, Richie.
Yeah, number 3, I have Christina Ricci. I just think it's too on the nose. It's too similar to Wednesday. And yeah, number 2, I've got Kristen Ritter. Like I could see it. I haven't the only 2 roles I've seen her in are the 2 roles you mentioned. So I'd probably wanted to see more stuff. But yeah, Joey King, I think I could definitely see that. I think she's got the look, and is a sort of horror queen. So yeah, I can definitely see that. So yeah, no, I got Joey King as well.
All right, so yeah, this is tricky. I'll go Kristen Ritter for my 3rd one. I just haven't seen enough of her outside of Breaking Bad. I only watched one that was it Jessica Jones or like whatever. I saw like one episode of that, so I just haven't seen a lot of her. I don't know what her range is that much. I'll go Christina Ricci at number 2 just because you just had Jenna Ortega playing the daughter, and it's a Wednesday, and I get it, but it's way on the nose. Like I sort of understand where you're coming from, but it's just way similar. And yeah, I'm looking for a little more creativity. But I think Millie Bobby Brown has really been branching out since Stranger Things. And yeah, you know, she's not bad in those like Godzilla Kong movies, and I want to see her kind of in more stuff. And I think she could definitely kind of goth it up and do pretty well. So yeah, I'll go Millie for this one. I like Richie's pick there. I kind of thought about that one a little bit.
You just watched that Netflix movie Damsel, and actually kind of has a similar vibe in that. So
yeah. All right. So telling out the points: Christina Ricci at 5, Millie Bobby Brown at 5, Kristen Ritter at 6, Joey King at 8. So it's Joey King taking this one. So
I really dig Leo Logan's pick in the chat. He's the '90s Fairuza Balk, which is wouldn't be bad. So yeah.
Yeah, not too. Maybe Craft era Ball, something like that.
Yeah.
Or even go back to the '80s when she was in Return to Oz.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So that Wizard of Oz movie. Yeah.
Uh.
All right. Well, let's go up a little bit more, and we're going to go to Barbara Maitland. So the great Gina Davis, the always adorable Gina Davis, especially in the '80s and '90s. Obviously, I think we're all big fans of Gina Davis. But yeah, let's get refamiliarized. And this is sort of going to be a double of Barbara and Adam that I'm going to play because they're both kind of all over the scene. So I'm just going to play, and this is going to represent both of them. So here you go.
Hey, look at that.
Well, where is he? What do we do?
Looks like we dig, Barbara.
Oh, it's about time.
I say we open it.
Maybe we should knock first.
Favorite time to look up there.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So
that's good stuff. They're like digging through artificial ground, all those.
Yeah, no, I like the
layers.
AstroTurf, kind of like fake grass. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, we were once again talking about Gina Davis as Barbara Maitland, one of the couples that is dead in the house and trying to haunt and to get everybody out of there. So Brian, I believe we are on you. What you got?
Yeah, it was a current bar actress for Barbara Cadudas for the 80s. I went with Anne Hathaway on this one. Anne Hathaway built attractive aspects sort of like with Barbara in the first film. And she could have some good timing for she does some good comedy for some films. So I'll go with Anne Hathaway.
Okay. Richie.
Yeah, you did.
You went with her.
I'm glad for this pick anyway. I went with someone who I think could maybe look like the role. She's got the cute factor, and she's had experience in comedy. You've seen 5 Years Engagement and a movie called Wild Target. I went with Emily Blunt. I think Emily Blunt could do well in this role as well. I think she's got comedic chops. I think she's. I could definitely see her in like a film like this. So and I think she's got charisma. So I think Emily Blunt would actually fit well here. So I had a few picks up my sleeve, so it didn't matter.
All right. So I was somebody who's obviously become quite the A-lister. She's now I believe a multi-time Oscar winner, but she got her start in comedy. I mean, you look at Superbad, Easy A. She's still doing it with Poor Things, doing crazy, bold roles, and she's not afraid to do just about anything on screen. Emma Stone. I think Emma Stone could really hit this on the ground running and just really portray that kind of sweetness and that small town thing, but also have great reactions to all the paranormal stuff going on. She could get a little angry if she needs to with Beetlejuice, go back and forth. Again, I just think she's a chameleon who could slide in just about any role. Yeah, at this point, I think she can play anything. So, Emma Stone. Jordan?
Yeah. So for me, I went. So yeah, this was a pretty tough one for me. Like I went back and forth between a few, but I went with one that's from one of my favorite horror movies of all time, or maybe my favorite. But I went with my girl Rose Byrne from Insidious. So I think she could pull it off for sure. She was in, I don't know why I'm spacing on the name, that Seth Rogen movie where they had
Neighbors.
The sorority next door. Yeah, Neighbors. She was in Neighbors. She was in Bridesmaid. She was pretty good in that. She even showed up in like Spy, stuff like that, and she's pretty good in all of it. And I think she can pull off comedy. She can pull off the horror stuff, and she's also pretty attractive. So I'll go with Rose Byrne.
All right, so recapping the picks for this one, Brian went with Anne Hathaway. We got Richie's pick of Emily Blunt. We got my pick of Emma Stone, and we've got Jordan's pick of Rose Byrne. All right, so there we go. All good picks here. I think this probably maybe the toughest one so far because they're all great, and they've all got a lot of range and are all really awesome. So yeah, I think it's only going to get tougher from here. But Brian, what you got?
Yeah, all good picks that have comedy aspects for their career. For me, my number 3, I went with Rose Byrne on this for number 3. Number 2 is close. I have Emily Blunt. And number 1, Emma Stone. You saw me still on that one.
Okay. All right, Richie.
Yeah, it's really tough. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, cool. What? Yeah, because like I mean, 2 of these picks are ones I was gonna. Yeah, but like but then like Jordan came in with Rose Byrne. I'm like, ooh. But yeah, so I'm gonna just because I'm gonna go number 3. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Anne Hathaway because I just I like the pick. I just like I like the other 2 a bit more. Now that I've seen them, seen the elements. But yeah, I mean, obviously I like Anne Hathaway because I had her on the list. But I think at the end of the day, I think Emma Stone is such a big just such a powerhouse of an actress at this point. I can't go past her. So Rose Byrne's a good pick. I'll go number 2, but I'll go with Emma Stone at number 1.
Okay. I think my last one, I haven't seen enough of her comedic chops with Emily Blunt. I think she always just kind of has been playing a lot of serious stuff lately, so I just don't see her. She always seems like she's depressed in movies, and I want somebody maybe a little bouncier for this one. 2, I'll go Anne Hathaway. I kind of considered her. I've casted her, once or twice here and there, but yeah, Rose Byrne is somebody I didn't think about, but I think she kind of has that homely quality to her, and that kind of motherly thing going on, and I think it's a pretty inspired pick, Jordan. So I'll go with Rose Byrne. Somebody I didn't really think about, but until you said it, I was like, oh yeah, I can see that. So I'll go Rose Byrne.
Yeah,
Jordan.
Yeah. So, this is tough, but I was like trying to think of like Emily Blunt, like what comedy she really did. She was in the 5-Year Engagement. That might be like the closest thing to a comedy. Maybe
she was also in a movie called Wild Target. That's a UK movie. I don't know if anyone saw it.
Okay.
It's got Bill Nye.
But I have her as my number 3. I just don't see her as much as the other 2. And then I have Anne Hathaway for my number 2, just because she was in that movie, the remake of The Witches, and she's doing some horrifying stuff that's kind of similar to like the horror and like things that they're doing in this movie. But Emma Stone, she's really becoming someone who can play like damn near anything. Like she can do comedy, she can do like drama, she can do. I haven't seen her really do action yet. Maybe that's her next thing, but I've seen her do everything else, and so yeah, I'll go with Emma Stone.
Okay, so Emma Stone with 9 points.
You're absolutely killing this episode.
It's not even one of my favorite movies, so maybe it's the ones you least expect. I fully expected Brian getting his picks in and being the super fan, but I didn't. I swear I didn't expect that at all. But,
I mean, Emma Stone did some action. The main Spider movies have action elements in it.
I guess so.
Wait, which movies did you say?
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, I mean, kind of. I mean, not so much from her though.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on up to the other half of the couple. We've got Adam Maitland, played by young Alec Baldwin, rolling in there. And again, I played that clip already, but we all kind of familiar with him in the movie. So we'll just get right to the picks, and we are back around to, is it Richie?
Richie,
yes.
Richie.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Richie.
I thought about a few people for this, but like ultimately, you want someone who can, has that sort of charm, but also has that comedic ability and who can has comedic timing and can be funny. I ultimately went for Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I think he could work here. I think he's got the charisma. I think he would. He works well in comedies. He's very like a versatile actor. It's a shame that Emily Blunt didn't get through, because then you could have had you could have had a re-team from Looper, but no, you can't have good things. No, it's not all right. But no, he's just a great all around actor, and I could see him having a little fun in this role, a guy who's got charisma for days, and he's been around for a long time as well, and been in like a lot of these like sort of dark sort of movies as well. So Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
All right. So Joseph Gordon-Levitt for Richie. I went with a guy that has a ton of experience in horror and comedy. It's pretty much both of his main bags and the two things he bounces between. But he's also just a really good actor, and it can really excel whether he's a side guy or a lead. I went with Justin Long. I think Justin Long, and my pick's not coming up. Is it coming up for you guys?
Yeah. It
Okay,
looks like a mugshot, but
yeah, it's I just tried to find a picture of him with glasses, but
mugshot.
It's not coming up for me for whatever reason, but as long as it's coming up for you guys, that's fine.
Yeah, we can see it.
I gotcha. Justin Long, obviously, he's done tons and tons of, like I said, horror comedy. It's a Wonderful Knife and Tusk and Barbarian. He's kind of funny in that movie, even though it's horrifying. So, but he can play off, have those crazy, kind of screaming reactions, and but he can also have those quiet moments and be sort of that husbandly, or boyfriend type character, stuff like Drag Me to Hell, which is also horror, but like he's kind of got the more quiet role in that one. Going all the way back even to Jeepers Creepers, like I just think he's a hell of an actor and could really excel here. Just with both the comedic and the horror stuff. So I'll go with Justin Long. It finally popped up for me. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. For whatever reason, it just wasn't popping up for me. All right, Jordan, what you got?
Yeah, so I went with one that's a guy that's kind of like funny without always like really meaning to be, but I mean, he actually has a whole YouTube channel that like somebody made of just clips of him just doing random lines. But I went with Adam Driver, and he's someone that I could see like doing the serious stuff, but also doing some comedy. I mean, he was in like Logan Lucky, and then just like some of the little like subtle roles when he like pops up. He always has these kind of quirky lines. Even Black Klansman to an extent, he has some like subtle humor in there. Or he's in like This Is Where I Leave You, but then he's also done horror stuff. He did The Dead Don't Die, and that's kind of like a like zombie like kind of thing. And so I can see him in this role, and he kind of has like that dark kind of brooding, even like some subtle Kylo Ren kind of like traits a little bit. But yeah, so I can see Adam Driver in this role. So.
All right, so Jordan went with Adam Driver. Brian, who'd you pick?
For me, I went with actor mostly known for comedy. I went with Jason Segel this run. He didn't do horror, but he's mostly known for comedy, especially How He Mother. He plays the lovely character Marshall, who's be a good husband character to Alice Hannigan in the show, could be transferred to the film. And I think it could be a good role for him to do so. Jason Segel's my pick.
Okay, so Brian goes with Jason Segel.
But I was going to say that I had an alternate pick that would have paired really well with the Emma Stone. I almost went with Andrew Garfield, so he could have been one.
But, yeah. All right, so just recapping the picks going around the horn. Richie went with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Jordan with Adam Driver. I went with Justin Long. And Brian goes with Jason Segel. So those are your options and available. Again, all good picks. Like them all. So,
can I pass? This is hard.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, yeah, I know. Well, maybe to a degree of just the ones you're most enthusiastic about, not necessarily that you don't like any of the picks.
Yeah,
just the ones that you just most would like to see. But Richie,
yeah, probably. They're all good picks, but I'm gonna go number 3. I'm gonna go Jason Segel because I see the other two more shining more. But yeah, Jason Segel. I could see, I think he'd do well, but I see the other two in it more. Yeah, that's just hard. No, number two, I'll go Justin Long. I get the argument. I think he think he'd kill it in the role. I know. I'm just a simple guy. If you mention Adam Driver and you got a decent argument, I will probably vote for him. I think he's probably been voted. I think he's probably been brought up more times than anybody on Recast. I mean, there's a reason for that. He's a chameleon. Yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll give it.
It's either Adam Driver, Paul Giamatti, or like Bryan Cranston gets brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple of guys that get brought up for a lot of roles. All right. I'm gonna go Siegel on this one. I don't really see it. I think it's a weird energy for that, and I'm sure he could be okay in there, but I'm more enthusiastic about the other ones. I'll go Joseph Gordon-Levitt for number two. I think he can do some fun comedic stuff when he wants to, and I'd like to see him do more comedy actually. But goddamn, I love Adam Driver, and I think he could play the quirky, weird guy who's like into arts and stuff, and play around with the dead thing, and come on, every time he's on SNL, he's really, really funny.
Yeah, so
like that dude is hilarious, like when he needs to be. But he could also do the dark stuff too. So I'll go Driver. I think it's a good pick. Jordan.
Yeah. So it's pretty close between my number one and my number two. I just know my number three is going to be Jason Segel. I just don't see it. I don't know if he's ever done anything really that dark that I can think of. I don't know, but yeah, the other two are just so hard. It just comes to what actor that I'm kind of vibing with more lately, and so my number two is probably Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I think that he's really good, and like he could totally pull it off, and I think it'd be fun. But yeah, Justin Long, that's almost like an inspired pick, just because he does the comedy, he does the horror stuff, and like every time that I hear his name attached to anything like remotely dark or like horror or like anything that I'm sold, like he's awesome. So I'll go with Justin Long.
Okay, Brian.
Yeah, this is pretty close for me. Number three, I have Justin Long on this one. Number two, I have Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and for you, Jordan, number one, Adam Driver.
Right.
All right. So Jordan got one with Adam Driver there. That's a good pick.
Got one. I didn't think I was going to get any tonight.
Yeah.
I don't think I am.
Well, you never know.
Well, you got one last shot, but I don't know. I think there might be somebody who might have a runaway pretty easy argument for this one that we all kind of considered, and it's kind of an obvious pick, but we'll get there. He just happened to get in first, so we'll talk about it when we get there. By the way, Steven's just tuning in. Emma Stone, we voted. I got the votes for Barbara. Adam Driver there. I can see Emma Stone and Adam Driver as a couple in that movie. I think it could work.
Yeah,
they'd have great chemistry. They'd have great chemistry.
It actually works.
So that would work well. Let's talk about the man himself, the title character, Beetlejuice, of course, played brilliantly by Michael Keaton, and of course still played brilliantly in the sequel by the great Michael Keaton. Let's take a very quick look at Michael Keaton in Beetlejuice.
Sure. Go ahead, shoot.
Well, for instance, what are your qualifications?
Well, I attended Juilliard. I'm a graduate of the Harvard Business School. I travel quite extensively. I lived through the Black Plague, and I had a pretty good time during that. I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. Not to mention the fact that you're talking to a dead guy. Now, what do you think? You think I'm qualified?
What I mean is, can you be scary?
I know you're asking me. Can I be scary? What do you think of this? You like it?
All right. So
one of my favorite bits from him when he's like, "What do you think of this?" Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's great. Of course, we all love Michael Keaton. We would never replace him. He's amazing.
Perfect casting.
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Again, this is just fantasy casting. If we had to recast the role, what would be picked? So I believe it's on me to go first. And I went with a pick that may seem a little out of the box, but if I go with the a late 90s version of this actor, he's got way more range than what you might think about it on the surface, and especially if you go to the 90s and the early 2000s. So I actually went with Ben Stiller I think that Ben Stiller could be really interesting in this one because you look at his range in the 90s between Reality Bites, stuff like Happy Gilmore, where he's an absolute sociopath, you know, and there you look at Heavyweights with Tony Perkis, he's a psychotic human being there, but still very funny at the same time. You know, I just saw him again in 0 Hour, where he's a little more, it has those kind of quieter moments like Keaton does, you know, he's just having kind of the heart to heart with him. Cable Guy, there's something about Mary, I mean, Zoolander. I mean, his range is way more than you might think about on the surface than kind of what he's settled into lately of just kind of the awkward guy. But man, I think like late 90s era Ben Stiller, like I think could find a way to really make it work and have that energy and still have those smaller moments as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of going for a certain era of him, but you know, I'm going kind of like late 90s, early 2000s Ben Stiller. So that's my pick. Jordan?
Yeah, so this was a really tough one because we all know someone picked the one we all wanted, but that's fine. And yeah, so I went with one because literally when Michael Keaton came back to host Saturday Night Live, he dressed up as the character and was doing some bits and like he did it really well and he sounded really good at it. I'm gonna go with Andy Samberg. So it might sound like a little out of the box, but that's Andy Samberg right there. Like in the makeup.
Yeah.
Like in all that he's doing the like Showtime and like doing all the voices and like he sounds quite a bit like Michael Keaton. Like it's what's surprising, they had Mikey Day come out also as the Beetlejuice character and I didn't think he really had it, but then Andy Samberg came out and he's like they don't really have anything else for me to do now, so there's no more real roles. I forget the guy that he was playing, some senator or something like that, but then it was like, so there's something for me to come out and play this Beetlejuice character or whatever. but yeah, and like I'd like to see it, and he's a guy that I'd like to see maybe delve into some kind of darker stuff, and I think he could work because he kind of just dips his toe in with Hotel Transylvania, but that's not really like a real like super dark, but it's kind of like just barely dipping your toe in. So yeah, Andy Samberg.
Okay, so Andy Samberg is Jordan's pick from more recently influenced by the SNL monologue. So there you go.
Yeah.
Brian, what you got?
Yeah, I went with a guy who does for comedy, bit of drama. I went with Jim Carrey for Beetlejuice. Mostly the 90s era Jim Carrey, like put up hits like Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, Liar Liar. His face emotions could do the character well, and I think he'd be perfect as Beetlejuice. So Jim Carrey.
All right, so Jim Carrey, Brian's pick for Beetlejuice. Richie.
Yeah, I sort of went, you probably might consider it out of the box as well. I don't know if people would think about him straight away. I went with Rainn Wilson. I think Rain could actually do pretty well. I think I think if you've seen him like in the Office stuff, I think he can turn up the crazy really well. And also even though he like basically plays a dude with autism, I think he can actually has that sort of emotional range where he can and he's got really good comedic timing. I think he'd have a lot of fun with this role. I've been waiting for him to sort of break out after the Office, and I think this was this role that he would actually have a lot of fun with. So yeah, I don't know. I think it. I don't know. I think he would do really well in this. So yeah, Rainn Wilson.
Okay, so Richie goes with Rainn Wilson. All right. Recapping all the picks here. I went with kind of a late 90s era Ben Stiller. Jordan goes with Andy Samberg. Brian with Jim Carrey. And Richie with Rainn Wilson. All right, so there are your picks. All right, so I guess it's on me. Yeah, I mean, my number one's probably going to be fairly obvious, so let's just we can do the other two. I was rewatching the Samberg things. I actually hadn't seen it while you guys were talking for a second. It sounded to me like he was just kind of straining to do the impression almost. I wasn't really sold by it, so I'm going to go with Andy Samberg for my number one, or my number three, excuse me, for the 1 point.
Yes.
No, not quite. Rainn Wilson is an interesting pick, but the facial contortions and like the energy, it's a different energy, but maybe if you adjusted the character a little bit. But come on, we all wanted to pick Jim Carrey. Jesus Christ, Brian just got it in first. So I mean, I think he would murder it. Yeah, he would kill us. He's got the energy, he's got the facial expressions, he's got the contortions, he's got everything. So yeah, I mean, if they had made this movie in the 90s, Jim Carrey probably would have been casted most likely. So yeah, I wanted to pick it, but Brian got it in first. Jordan?
Yeah. Probably for number 3. It's funny when you say that they put a character with autism. I never really like thought of that, but now it makes sense. Yeah,
he definitely has autism.
It's white. Yeah. Yeah, but I have him for my number 3. I mean, I would like to see him. I mean, I don't know if he's done like many horror movies in that Cooties movie, but
he was in the House of 1,000 Corpses.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I'm seeing that now. When I bring it up, I'm not sure what he played, but
he just played a dude though.
I know he's just playing the guy. He gets stuff,
Yeah,
he gets turned into a fish. He gets turned into a fish boy. That's after he's dead.
But even in Cooties, he's just playing a dude, kind of. So, yeah, my number 2 is Ben Stiller. I mean, I can see it. Like he has done some like horror adjacent stuff, like Cable Guy, kind of, and then like he was in The Watch. I don't know if you even call that horror adjacent, but he's in it. But
sci-fi.
Yeah,
that's sci-fi aspect.
Yeah, but yeah, come on. Like, we all wanted to pick Jim Carrey. Like, Jim Carrey would absolutely nail this. So, yeah. I don't know if there's anyone else you really can pick. So yeah, I'll go Jim Carrey, my number 1.
All right, Brad.
For number 3, I had Ray Wilson. Number 2, Andy Samberg. It's a good pick, but I feel it's more of an impression of the character, not playing the character well. But number 1, Ben Stiller, because we also say he played douchey characters like in Heavyweights and Happy Gilmore. So number 1 is Ben Stiller.
Okay.
Yeah, Heavyweights. Yeah, like that would actually.
That's what I mean. Yeah, Tony Perkins is a psycho.
Yeah,
he's very funny though. Yeah.
Dodgeball. Yeah.
Richie?
Yeah. There goes my idea of reuniting a pair from the classic comedy The Rocker of Emma Stone and Rainn Wilson. But no.
He was in
3,
that. I forgot she was in that.
Yeah, she is, and she was also in the house. Yeah, like she did a couple of comedies. Like she was also in the House Bunny with Anna Faris.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. Number 3, I've got Andy Samberg. I saw the episode. I saw the impression. I don't know. I wasn't blown away necessarily, and I feel like I haven't seen him do anything dark like sort of that dark. So I don't know. But he might be all right, but just not. Wasn't convinced. And yeah, number 2, Ben Stiller. But yeah, I could definitely see that. That'd be really cool, and he does have range. But yeah, I mean, we almost didn't even need to go through this. But Brian's just stole it from by getting us picking early.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim Carrey. It's Jim Carrey because Jim Carrey was cast in The Mask in 1990s, and that's sort of it's like Beetlejuice adjacent to the type character where he is.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like if you can't pick Jim Carrey, it's like there's nobody else that really fits. Only Jim Carrey.
There's very similar jokes in Beetlejuice, like there is in The Mask. So yes,
that's very similar. All right, so Jim Carrey, we'll take that one, and of course, it's one we were all. We'll give it to Brian for that one because he just happened to get in before anybody else did. That's it, and we'll run down our picks one more time for anybody tuning in. Everything that won. So for the character of Juno, my pick of Kathy Bates wins out for Juno. Otho goes to Brian's pick of Eric Stonestreet from Modern Family. The role of Charles goes to my pick of Bill Pullman in there. Delia goes to my pick of Judy Greer. I had 5. I did not expect to do this well.
Yeah.
I just thought people I really liked.
Good for you. No,
I listen. I really. It's not one of my favorites. You know that. Like I like this movie, but it's not one of my favorite movies. I'm just here because I'm the host, so I just do my best.
It depends on how you sell it.
No, I mean, each one of these I know I can sell like Battleground style, so I do my best. Lydia went with another one of my picks. Went with Joey King, wins out for that one. Barbara goes to another one of my picks, Emma Stone. But Emma Stone gets casted a lot, so we just all like her as well. And oddly enough, the role of Adam goes to another Adam. It goes to Adam Driver. So there you go. Adam Maitland going to Adam Driver. That's Jordan's pick, so Jordan getting one in. And the Beetlejuice role, of course, going to Jim Carrey, as we all kind of thought. Sorry, Richie.
I realized I would have got the Paul Waterhouse thing if I didn't vote for Brian. I could have just voted for someone else.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were very close on that one.
At least I got 2 in.
Yeah, Brian got 2 in, so there you go. And you got the top character, so there you go. That was a pretty obvious one. But yeah,
we'll have to check when we recast the movie Scream, and you'll probably fare pretty well in that one, maybe.
Yeah, I think I'm on the Home Alone one as well, so I mean, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, there we go, and that'll do it. So, excellent work, everybody. That was fun, kind of playing around with the casting of a horror comedy classic, Beetlejuice. So, thanks everybody for participating, and thanks everybody for tuning in for this one. We'll plug the next couple episodes in just a second. We'll go around the horn and get everybody's plugs first. Richie, where can we find you, man? Thanks for coming on, though. Appreciate it.
That's all right. I'll be on Tournament Fights tomorrow, I believe. Doing Chris Scott's top 64 TV. I'll be on via my hotspot because I'm waiting for my modem from the internet. It should be here in a couple of days. So, as long as I got my phone charged, it should be fine. Other than that, Lonely Marks, which also might be on my phone. We'll see what happens. Lonely Marks. Wheel of Movies next week. We haven't worked out what we're doing or what we're doing yet, but we'll keep.
Hey, Jordan, that's an idea. You want to pull your phone out and spin the wheel of movies?
Yeah, spin the wheel. We can find out now.
Yeah, we can do it. Since you're both here,
Well, and we did good on time tonight, so we're doing very good on time. So it's not too late. Why don't we pull that wheel up while we get our plugs going? Yeah, and we'll do that at the very end once we get all our plugs done. We'll do that at the very end.
But other than that, I'm on the other trivia spaces as well. I'll do trivia once I get the internet. So because I can't really write on the board and hold the phone and shit. So I don't want to be confused.
Yeah.
So I'm around. So it's good to be on.
No, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Brian, one of your favorites. You still got a couple of picks in, so very good. And you had some other ones that came very close. So some good solid picks tonight.
Yeah, the Otho was close though for that one.
No, that one literally just came down to a type. You got the Otho one, and you almost had Catherine Hahn as well. So you had some good picks in there. So definitely. What you got to plug, man? Anything?
Yeah, you can find me doing Chamber Spaces, Pierce Co, Multiplex, Lights on Trivia. I'll be here tomorrow and Friday, same with Richie for the Heavy Madison on Friday and tomorrow for Chris Scott's. I'm on the Family Best Worst series that Jordan's doing. Yeah. And also be part of the Free For All coming up in December.
Yeah, for sure. Jordan, what you got?
I won't go in too deep on this one. Just what we have coming up in the next little bit. But you can find us on all the social medias down in the description. We're on pretty much every social media, but mostly the Movie Hero Network. If you want to share anything that you're working on that's movie or TV or pop culture related, you can do that. And then what we have coming up in the immediate future, we got Chris Scott's Top 64 that we already mentioned. Then Friday, which me and Brian, we're working on finalizing the list for the Happy Madison tournament. That's going to be all of Adam Sandler's usual friends on there. But besides Adam Sandler, even though he will pop up just because he's in some of these movies.
Exactly.
But it's been mostly because of me. I've been busy, so Brian was a big help putting that list together. But and then then we'll be getting into our holiday mystery series. So I have that all ready to go. So it's going to be just like the horror series where we just spin the wheel. Well, no, there's no wheel spin. I went to flickchart.com and randomized it there, and I had every holiday movie that exists. So there'll be mostly Christmas stuff, but there'll be some Christmas adjacent. There'll be some Easter, some 4th of July, some New Year, St. Patrick's Day. I don't really have too many Halloween ones. A couple, maybe just to fill out some spots that take place on Halloween night. But I tried to kind of save those for the horror stuff. But and then I'm trying to think if there's anything else on the immediate future. Nothing too much. We are trying to get our next musical episode scheduled. That's going to be an Elton John versus Queen match. So we're going to do a whole tournament of that. So I'll be reaching out to some people for that. And then also I'm just I've been hard at work putting together some clips and stuff for our free for all that's coming up in December. The Seen and Heard movie trivia free for all. So we got about 36 competitors, I think, set for that, and it'll be on December 8th, which will be a Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So,
we'll probably find a couple of nights before, Jordan, to spin the wheel like we did last time and determine our order for the free for all. We'll have to put everybody's names in there, give everybody their numbers and their positions, and then we can make those groups and get everybody in order. And it'll be a big together. But each one has gone smoother than the last one, Jordan. So the last one went pretty smooth behind the scenes and went pretty well and was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
I've had a few people even reaching out, trying to say, "Hey, can I be at the beginning of it so I can I be able to work my way through it more, or can I be at the end because I was at the beginning last time?" Nope, it's all just random, except for Jonathan Caro. He will be in the first 10. He'll be the only one because he's won twice. So we're making that stipulation, but everything else will be totally, completely randomized just to make it fair.
Can I just mention that my number 36 is my favorite number, and I'm turning 36 next year. So,
okay. Sure, yeah.
Well, you can, fingers crossed that you can get something in the 30s. So there you go.
Yeah,
Our only caveat, is Jonathan Caro, and how that's going to work is, since he's won twice, we want to make it a little tougher for him if he wants to try to go the distance to make it number 3. Is that if we don't spin him by the 10th one, he automatically becomes number 10. That's how that'll work. So, if we don't spin him before that, so that's how that's going to work. But that'll wrap it up for tonight. We'll mention that our next 2 recasts will both be in December. We'll be doing kind of Christmas related movies. So we'll be doing Home Alone. So another Catherine O'Hara in there. Another one of her movies. Home Alone will be up first, and then we'll be doing Die Hard, which has a fun, that can be a tricky one as well because that movie's pretty perfectly cast also, and we'll kind of lay out all the roles for Die Hard. So that should be a lot of fun. Both with great ensembles. So that'll be about it. We'll wrap it up for Recast, but before we wrap it up, Jordan, me and Richie are here, so why don't we spin the wheel, because we'll be doing that in about a week and a half or so it seems about right. Again, it doesn't have to be one of our favorite movies. As we said, we just did Scream 4, which is not one of me and Richie's favorite of the franchise. It just needs to be something we can talk about for an hour. Let's we exnate a few things just because we don't think we can talk about it for an hour. But it just needs to be something we can discuss. So why don't we pull that wheel up and we'll give it a big spin. Tell us how many movies are on there. What do we got?
So what I'm doing really quick, because I can do it fast here, I'm copy and pasting because Jonathan Caro just had his top 64.
That's right. His top 64 is in there.
So I'm going to copy and paste those onto the wheel really quick, and then I'll give you the final number for what we have on here.
Oh my God, was it like 2,000 or something like that?
and then
it'll be well over 2,000.
Then people get there after the 164.
Oh my God, we'll never get all those movies.
So they are officially on the wheel. So that brings us up to 2,198 movies officially.
Movies. Big blob of wheel. Yeah. That's right.
The wheel of movies will always be the biggest because for the mystery tournament, it'd be like taking 64.
We slowly take them out every time, though. We take 64 out every time. When we do that. So that one at least decreases every time we do one of those tournaments. But the wheel of movies will always be ever expanding. But there's a lot of movies to pick from, so we never know what we're gonna spin. Could be anything.
Yeah. So
all right. Hit it, Jordan. Let's do it.
Well, here we go. Let's see.
All right, we'll do it in the microphone.
On the whammies, no whammies, nothing weird.
Yeah, I know. No musicals.
Right.
The Passion of Joan of Arc.
I don't know if you want that one.
Thanks.
The Passion
Yeah,
of
whose
Joan
is
of Arc.
that?
That's a Wolfman pick.
Yeah.
The
Nah,
Passion
I'm
of the
good.
Joan of Arc. No, I'm not doing that. Sorry. No.
I'm almost tempted to just remove it. I don't know. Because you're never gonna do it. So
Yeah,
no, we're gonna do that.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no.
Wolf. Yeah, we're not
Sorry,
doing
Wolf.
the Joan of Arc movie.
You picked something way too obscure.
That's
and
a
then not enough to talk about.
1928 movie that's 2 hours. I'm not watching that.
How are you gonna find that movie? How are you?
Yeah.
It's on Max and Tubi. It's available, but I'm not watching that. I'm sorry, I'm not watching a silent movie about the Joan of Arc.
For some reason, Ross Bristow keeps telling me to watch it though. Like he's messaged me a few times.
Oh, okay,
about
Ross
that.
picks that.
Yeah, so it could be
Nope.
his. I don't know.
Not happening.
But, yeah. All right.
We reserve the rights as the host to Mulligan
Yeah.
as many times as we need to.
Let's see.
15. Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest.
We already did that one.
We already did Galaxy
We
Quest.
did it.
Take it off the wheel.
Yeah.
You didn't put it off the wheel.
Well, I put it off the wheel, but it's on there multiple times.
It's on there multiple times.
People.
It's in my
Yeah.
54 as well.
Well,
so
you can
maybe-
go watch our episode about Galaxy Quest because we did
Yeah,
that
right.
yesterday.
Oh, Galaxy Quest. So let's spin it.
Third time's a charm.
All right, so that's a mulligan. Yeah, hopefully third time's a charm. We'll see.
Price.
That's right.
112. Happy Death Day 2017.
Happy
Talk
Death
about
Day.
that?
Okay, the original
You know
Happy
what?
Death Day.
You get that?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we can talk about Happy Death Day. Yeah, because it's a really unique
Yeah.
movie and
It is,
it's a
yeah.
fun one. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it since the theater actually. So yeah, I'll
Yeah.
rewatch that. Yeah,
Yeah,
So,
so-
Maybe
We'll
Malcolm. I think
see.
maybe Malcolm was this. Maybe he.
yeah,
likes
who's
the
got
movie.
Happy Death? I know Jordan has the second
It's
one.
online.
Is it
I've
original?
got the first and the second one, so they're both on there. Yep.
Okay, well, maybe we'll just get you on for that one. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Death Day is a good one. We can talk about that. Yeah, time loops and
I'll come on for
horror
that one.
and-
Yeah, for sure. Because I
and,
love that. A big-
Yeah, so
And then
Big
Jordan
Jessica
gets the video
Rothy
afterwards
fan.
as well for the episode.
yeah, we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
just spin the wheel again at the end of the episode.
Yeah,
sounds
right.
good. All right, no,
Well,
yeah,
Then
we'll
we
talk
get
about
Happy Day to you at the end
Yeah.
of the episode.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
right.
You want to come back again? Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yep.
All right,
Right.
yeah, well, we'll
Happy
we'll
Death
talk
Day.
about Happy Death Day. Yeah, no,
Yeah, cool.
that's a fun movie. So yeah, there's things to talk about there. And
Yeah.
lots of things going on. Yeah, a lot of inspiration from other movies and things we can talk about. So yeah, I'm down for a little Happy Death Day. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So we got
Yeah.
another horror film coming up for you, but this one more of a horror comedy. Yeah, and kind of a little sci-fi in
Yeah.
there as well.
And I like
So-
it more than Scream 4, so that's fine.
Yes, I do as well.
Yeah.
it's a good movie. So,
Well, there you go.
All right. Well, we'll
All
do
right.
that. Yeah, that'll be in about a week and a half. So we're looking at about probably December the 5th. Yeah, that Thursday we usually do it before Lonely
Yeah.
Marks on Thursday nights. So yeah, we'll check that out. It'll be Happy Death Day. All right, that'll do it for tonight for our episode of Recast. So we appreciate anybody who tunes in live or tunes in after the fact. We really do. This was a lot of fun, guys. And yeah, again, stay tuned to the Movie Hero Network in December for both Home Alone and Die Hard. Those will be a lot of fun as well. So yeah, but that'll do it for tonight. I'll take us out to a commercial break to end the show here in just a second. Before Richie, for Brian, for Jordan, I have been your host tonight, Austin Pez Howell, and we'll see you next time on Recast.
Yee-hoo! Having trouble with a living? You tired of having your home space violated? You want to get rid of them pesky living critters once and for all? Well, come on down and see me, folks, because I'm the after-house leading bio-exorcist. Yes, there is. Come on down here, and I want to tell you, I'll do anything. I'll scare them real bad. The point is, folks, I'm going to do anything to get your business. Hell, I'll possess myself if I gotta. Whoa! Yo, I got demons running all through me. All through me. Come on down here and see it. And hey, Jack, now, you get a free demon possession with every exorcism. Now, you can't beat that, can you? And bring a little parts down here. Hell, we got plenty of snakes and lizards for them to play with. There's no problem with that at all. So, say it once. Say it twice, third time's a charm, and remember, I'll eat anything you want me to eat, I'll swallow anything you want me to swallow. So come on down now, chew on a dog. Oh!